Okay.
So this is supposed to be like a template. So if you want to make a copy
Mhm.
of this, and then we can do what we want with it.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and name this screener template for release management. I can spell today.
Right. Everybody's watching you type. I know.
So,
Okay. So the first two questions are really standard. It's just getting people's agreement so we can record them and share it with people at GitLab. So we need to keep those two in there. It doesn't disqualify them if they say no. It's just for you and Emily when she recruits to know if we want to talk to that person, we can't record it.
okay.
And then the next question is just a list of job titles. And it's usually that they can check as many as apply to them because some people do more than one thing. It doesn't terminate anybody at this point. Question 4 could terminate somebody if you wanted it to. And usually I rely on question 4 a lot more than I rely on question 3 to figure out who I want to talk to because this one asks what tasks are they responsible for on a regular basis. So this is also the question where people tend to add stuff, especially that is specific to their project. So read through the list and see if there's something that we should add in here that's specific to the release management. And we can just add it anywhere you want because we can randomize it in Qualtrics.
Got it. That helps. So I think from my view, I would want to know if they are approving um, merge requests and contents in a release, which is a little bit different than decide what is ready to be released.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other component is like create policy for releasing code to production.
Cool.
Okay, I think that's it.
Excellent. So what we'll do is when I create it in Qualtrics, we'll make sure that those two things are something that somebody has to choose in order to move forward.
Yeah, I think I would be good with if this is a part of a job function too.
Okay.
So should I add asterisks to all the areas that I feel like would make sense?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then I'll know what that's about.
Okay, good. And I can also add a comment there.
And do you have access to Qualtrics yet?
I do not. I don't know if I think I submitted back in my onboarding ticket that I was supposed to get Qualtrics
Oh,
access,
okay.
but I might just submit another request for that.
Yeah, and I know Sarah was saying put her in it, Sarah Jones.
Okay.
So I think she's the one who might be going in and giving people access, or maybe she's the one who's driving IT to give him to you. But yeah, put her in there, and then she can make sure you get it.
Okay. Sarah
And
Jones. I'll make that note.
yep, she's a UX research manager.
Okay. And then
Cool.
I am interested in like the C through F,
Okay.
but I don't know if you ever usually deny people.
We don't, but what we can do is Emily can send it out to, well, I don't know if we capture that information in our database right now, but what she can do is she can filter for what we get back and not even bother you with people who are A and B.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'll put up here. Okay.
And we can take out 6 too if it doesn't matter. We don't have to keep any of these in here.
This might be interesting to understand how many people are assigned to a company for this function based on their size. So I think it's relevant.
Okay, cool. And you mentioned, I think you mentioned some industries
Yeah.
that you were looking for.
So anything regulated, which might
Government.
include insurance,
Okay.
um, banking, and
Hmm.
investments, which is a little can be considered different.
We can put
Yeah.
both of them in there and then let them select.
Okay. We have government in there
Hmm.
already. Um, yeah, that should be good.
And so for number 8, sometimes we ask it, sometimes we don't. Doesn't matter because 8, 9, and 10 kind of go, and 11 go together. It's up to you if
I
you
think those are
care.
relevant. Yeah.
Okay. Are you looking for any specific types of GitLab customers?
No, I mean .com is always like from my preference, I would like to look at SaaS, but I understand self-managed is a huge part of our business too. So that's really important.
Okay, cool.
So I'm good with that.
Okay. All
Uh,
right. So what other questions should we ask here that you would want to know in order to say this is a person I want to talk to?
um, can we do kind of like value statements?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and write it and then we can figure out how we want to
Okay.
present it.
I'm interested in learning from enterprise customers how important um, like manually approving releases or promotions to production. Another kind of qualifying, and the value here would be for people who are very committed to it or it's semi-important. I'd like to talk to them to make sure that we're able to support their needs.
And important meaning it's an essential function of my job
Yeah,
or okay.
like it's essentially important to my organization.
Okay.
And then I coordinate, like the person would coordinate releases across many groups and projects. This would be like a normal or
Like how often are you looking for like a frequency?
frequently.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the last one would be um, just whether or not they use GitLab environments. And it wouldn't necessarily exclude them, but talking to people who use our environments and that it's super important to manually improve releases would give us insight into how they're doing that within GitLab. Whereas if they're not using GitLab environments, but it's very important to orchestrate releases across many groups or approve releases, then they would be the use case that we're trying to resolve.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Okay. That makes sense. So then, okay. So if you share this with me, then I can get in here and you can see how I'm going to change that.
perfect. And make that make sense.
Totally. Well, it makes sense. It's just not a survey question yet.
Right.
All good. All right. Do, 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 do.
And then I think that 14 questions is more than enough.
Oh, yeah, it's
From a
fine.
screening perspective, I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
inundate more.
So I'm going to change manually approving releases or promotions to production is very important. It is, sorry, I'm going to use your language down there, is an essential part of my job and important to my company. And so what I'm going to do is that's like a Likert
Yeah.
question. So it's like I agree completely. I somewhat wish there was like a stamp.
I know. That would be funny if you could do like a YAML command to be like, hey, bring this
Yes.
in here.
All right. So then now we have answers that we can compare across people, and we've defined what important means to us and what they want them to tell us.
Right.
So, all right. And I'm going to do this. So when we talk about frequency, we want to give people a time frame to think of it in. So in the last week, in the last 30 days.
Yeah, I would probably do multiple times a week, once a week, multiple times a month, less than
Days.
once a month.
So I'm going to even go more specific than that. How often have you coordinated releases? Come on. Across multiple groups,
Yeah.
projects. And so it would be, I have not
Yeah.
done
And if they
this.
haven't done that, I really want to know why, especially if they are using GitLab.
Okay. And if they do answer that, that might be something that you recruit and talk to them about.
Right, for sure.
Because if we ask that in the screener, it's going to be an open text thing,
Yeah.
and people just don't like to answer that. Let's see, I don't know, what do you think the frequency of 1 to 5 times, 6 to 25 times, more than 26 times? I have no idea how often they should be doing this in a month.
So it would be, I don't know. I don't even, that's kind of why I'm asking the question. I'm not sure. Like if we were to say that the ideal is for people to be releasing to production whenever they want at will from an engineer's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and how are people coordinating those releases to production if developers are allowed to release at will? So it really could be multiple times a day or less than that. So I think what you have here makes sense.
Okay. All right. And so,
I may make the window a little bit smaller from
yeah,
the 5
less 30
time,
days.
or like
Okay.
so like 1 to 5 is perfect, but like the next one after that, maybe do like 6 to 10 times and then 11 to 25. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was looking for you to help me understand if I went too far with it. Totally. Okay, cool. So what this does is it gives them a time frame, 30 days. Don't think of anything more than that. And then a specific amount of times that they can tell us what they've done. Instead of saying frequently, because frequently to you is going to mean something different to somebody else.
Right.
So you always want to kind of give them some numbers to report on. And again, self-reporting, but we've got a better chance of getting a better understanding of what they've been up to if we get them more specific options. And then this question is just, have you used GitLab environments? And is there like a time frame, like in the last ever?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I mean, I really want to know, are you using currently?
Okay.
But have you used GitLabs? We could
Yeah, we can totally ask them this. And what I'll say, and we'll do is like, yes, no, I'm not sure, and not right now, but I have in the past.
That's perfect.
And so that kind of captures that piece too. Cool. All right. Excellent.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
So as far as next steps, now that we've completed the step of getting together with the UX researcher to understand the screener, now we'll post this back to Qualtrics and get it in there.
Yes. What I'll do is I'll go in Qualtrics and I'll set this up. I can probably do it before my next meeting at 1 o'clock. And then I'll share the link. I'll share it with Emily so she'll have it. I'll also share this in the issue with her too, so she'll know where it came from.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and post this to the issue to save you
perfect.
time, and then
Excellent.
that way you can just focus on the survey creation.
Okay, and so I'll do that, and then in Qualtrics, I just have to share the survey with Emily so she has access to it, and then she can start recruiting for you using this screener. So yeah,
Perfect.
cool.
Well, thank you so much, Lori. I'll go ahead
You are
and
welcome.
stop the share and stop the recording.